Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the What's in Your Head podcast.
Digitized live from
your company name here.
Studios in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the What's in Your Head podcast with your hosts Gordon and Don Abernathy.
What's up, OG5? Don't you love when your headphones are just a little too quiet where you can't hear yourself talking? Like, am I talking? Like, yeah, Don, you're talking. Nobody cares, but you're talking. Hey, Mike, how you doing tonight, fella?
Oh, not too bad. You know, family stuff, work stuff.
We're just going to throw this out there right now for those of you who are going to be tuning in. Well, if you're tuning in later, you won't be able to hear this, but if you're tuned in now and you're hearing this live, if for some reason we go somewhere, it's summertime in Southwest Florida, which means it rains every goddamn day. And boy, howdy, is it raining in Cape Coral. We're at a little lull right now. I'm locked down in my 1950s den, but it's settled down right now. But if we just vanish like Kaiser Sose off into the wind, it's because, well, it's Southwest Florida and my power went out or my internet went out. One of the two. The power's already gone out twice tonight since I've been home from work. So it's not too much of a reach, a chase, a grasp, and or just a hypothetical situation that there's a possibility that my shit may go out. So just throwing that out there.
For show.
For show. For shizzle. So what's going on in your part of the world, fella, other than the stuff you just mentioned prior?
Yeah, I mean, you know, things with the kids and well, I only have a kid, but yeah, just, you know, going through life, you know, same kind of situation as last week. I'm in my second week in the office. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
My
mic is super hot. I don't know why. I'm Robin Leach and the Rich and Famous, and I don't know why. If you got that fucking reference, you're old as shit.
Yeah, like I said, I started out in the office, and, you know, you wouldn't think how nice having a quality chair would be.
It's so funny you say that. Welcome to Old Man Office Talk, episode 43. Here we go. Let's get to it. I'm going to turn down my mic because it's super hot, and I don't know why. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm burying the needle on my end. So I recently bought a new mouse for work. I'm an IT guy, and for whatever reason, when I started my job over a year ago, the office had me set up with a generic Dell keyboard and mouse. I wanted something wireless. I just went out and bought ironically, the same cheap wireless keyboard Logitech mouse keyboard combo I have two here in the studio. It's $19. But the mouse is essentially a travel mouse. This is meant this is basically tuck this shit in your your laptop bag and take it for you.
Yeah.
And so when you're working 8 hours a day on a travel mouse, you're basically, you know, you're not, you're kind of
up.
You're and so after a year, like my carpal tunnel started acting up, and so I purchased a full size mouse, but not only a full size mouse, but like a weighted, like not quite a gamer mouse, but like a $40 mouse.
Yeah.
And it helps because now my hands are more to normal size and I'm not cramping them. Now I need to switch a keyboard because sadly, even though both of them are Logitech, fun fact, Logitech has 3 type of USB receivers and not everything matches. I actually had 4 or 5 Logitech laptop mice here from my shop with 4 or 5 dongles and I couldn't get any of the motherfuckers to work. If I downloaded the software, don't know why. And so I got the mouse and I tried to unify my mouse and keyboard to the same USB adapter because I have one of the small tiny space saver Dell Optiplex 7000s. That thing has like one C USB port on the front, one basic USB 3.0 on the back, and four in the back, one in the front. Well, now I have to run 2 fucking receivers because my Logitech keyboard don't synchronize with my Logitech mouse because one's a unifying receiver, one's a generic receiver.
Sure.
So now I'm going to buy a $30 ergonomic keyboard. But back to your point, my chair was a nice chair when they bought it for the previous employee. Mm-hmm. It had the little flip-out arch support for your lower back, which broke and collapsed. I've played around putting a water bottle, but it doesn't work. Recently, as I sat down, as I've gotten fatter, as we discussed the last podcast, the little plastic caps that cover the little beauty covers pop off. Sure. And one of the screws actually came out. and I put it. It's cross-threaded. I didn't build the chair. Somebody else built the chair. So anyhow, on the left back, where the back is connected to the arm, because that's how office chairs work.
Yep.
It's disconnected. So my left side. So long story short, yes, when you're working in an office, you need a quality mouse, quality keyboard, and I'm about to tell my boss, hey, sorry to do this to you, but I need like a new $300 chair.
See, and that's interesting because the scheduler at my company happens to also be the office purchaser, and she buys.
So
all
she
of,
has
like,
like the best shit, and everybody else has the hand-me-down shit that she used to use.
Well, and this company is a little bit different because when I started, I just had a basic chair, no armrest, nothing like that. And the problem is that all that faux leather was peeling off and getting all over the place.
Naga hide, sir. No, it's
Yeah.
fake leather. It peels. Naga hide doesn't peel. This shit peels.
Right. And so I noticed I sit in it. A chair to me, a chair is a chair. But
So you thought before you got yourself an ass job.
That's right. So I'm sitting in the chair, because I've got a nice,
Gaming chair.
gaming style chair, racing chair from my parents for Christmas, and I was sitting in this chair, and I noticed that the piston had to have started leaking or something like that because it slowly started sinking down.
The two things happen. One, because as an IT guy, I've built and replaced a lot of computer chairs since 2004. I'm actually have one of my original. This is actually original computer chair from my office in 2004. One of 6 remaining. Two things happen depending on the quality of the chair and the weight of the person who's sitting on it. One, after a while, the piston does leak. But more importantly, what tends to happen if someone is a little on the heftier side, the cradle and the plastic cross that makes up the bottom of your chair, because it's basically a plastic X with 4 casters in it, that cradle will actually start to crack, or the bottom will break out, and the piston will actually start sinking down till it gets to the point where the bottom of the piston is dragging the carpet.
Yeah.
And so you're slowly sinking, but it's not actually the piston itself. It's the piston is sinking into the equivalent of a sinkhole here in Florida or California until it makes contact with harder soil below the chair, and at that point, you just got to throw the fucking thing away.
Yeah. So I went to them and I was like, look, this chair isn't going to cut it. Is there? I even said, like, I don't care. Is there another one that around the office that I can just grab? And they were like,
there's a Craftsman stool on wheels out in the garage.
Yeah. So, so I was like, yeah, is there just something I can swap out real quick just to kind of get back to work and do what I was doing? And when I talked to my boss about it, he was like, just go to, I'll just call her Steph. Just go to Steph and say, be like,
bitch, give me a chair.
Hey, I need a chair, just pick out. And I went to her. She came back to me and she was like, hey, go on, not to plug it, but Office Depot.
Mm-hmm.
And because I guess they have an account with them, and they were like, pick out whatever chair you want. I was like, oh, okay.
Ooh.
So I went on there and I picked out the first chair that I saw, because I'm not,
Are you like your kid where you just
guy.
look at something and not check the prices? Because my kid does that all the fucking time at the store.
Well,
Look, it's $5. It's 3 for $20. I don't need $20 worth of ice cream.
Yeah, I do, because I'm very conscious. It's not my money, it's not my business. That kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm same way.
I didn't want to go out and spend or ask for a $500 or $600 freaking executive office chair. So I went to my boss again and I was like, hey man, these chairs are kind of pricey. Do I have a limit, or how much do you think I should spend? And he was like, just pick a few out and we'll go from there. So I sent out an email. I picked one out. I screen snipped it, put it in the email, sent it to her, sent it to him, and I was like, this is just the first one that I saw. If my boss was okay with it, then I guess I'll take this one. So he okayed it, and then she came back to me and she was like, well, go check with the training manager because he just got a new chair. I was like, all right, cool. So I checked with him, and he was literally putting it together when I walked in there, and he was like, I was like, hey man, they told me to check out your chair. He was like, yeah, I'll be done with it in a few minutes. He was like, I'll bring it up to your office. You can sit in it and see how comfortable it is. I was like, all right, cool. So I sat in it, felt pretty good. told her she could go ahead and order that. She ordered it.
Now, is it
expected
bad form to
delivery.
rip a shit in someone else's brand new chair?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
No, thank you. Absolutely not. So I went to her. I was like, yeah, I'll take that. That's fine. Let me tell you, it showed up today.
Mm-hmm.
I put it together.
Mm-hmm. Did it come with
And-
the Allen wrench?
Yes.
Did you just throw it in the trash and go get a drill with an Allen bit and to put it together yourself?
Yep. So initially, because the first chair that I had a very fast piston leak,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, well, fuck this. So, they told me there was a chair around the corner I could grab until mine came in. So I swapped it, sat down in that one, same fucking thing. The flaking, it was a little bit nicer chair. It had a higher back on it. It actually had armrests.
There's
and they
nothing
were
like
adjustable.
when you get home or you're out in public and you realize you have the flaking stuck to the back of your arms or your legs.
Yeah.
Fun fact, my headphones flake, and so I'll take a shower tonight and I'll get up in the morning and I'll have black flakes down my neck like I've been out
Yep.
working in the garage all fucking night.
Yep.
And I'm like an artist now, like who just shows up in like clothes and dry paint. I'm just fuck it. I don't care.
Yep.
I took a shower. The shit's still there. It clings. Whatever.
So my chair showed up today. I put it together. I sat in it and I went, holy shit. I have never sat. It's made by Serta.
Ooh, the
So-
mattress company.
Yeah. I've never sat in a nicer office chair
Mm-hmm.
than the one that I have now.
The chair I'm sitting in looked like it retailed on Amazon for about $200 prior to me getting there.
Yeah.
Now, if you're like me and Mike and a normal person, you're like $200 a lot of money for a fucking chair.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like listening to successful podcasts to remind you how poor you are.
Yep.
A couple years back, I was listening to a mainstream podcast, The New X Chair. The luxury and office chairs. If you're spending 8 hours a day, much like me and Mike's been talking about, you want an X chair, X chair, X chair. Wonder how much this X chair is. It's on this show. I'm guessing about a fucking $1,500 chair. Built-in vibrator, built-in heat seeker, built-in fucking manual manipulator. The fucking chair base model was $4,200.
Jesus.
I'm like, holy hell. And this is the same type of podcast where like Tommy John underwear. Tommy John, you got to get yourself Tommy John underwear.
Yeah.
I have Tommy John underwear, and I've replaced every pair of underwear I've had with Tommy John. Well, how many fucking pairs of underwear do you have? 3? Has anybody listening checked the retail price on a pair of Tommy John underwear? One pair, not a chub pack. A single fucking pair of Tommy John underwear?
Aren't they like 40 or 50 bucks?
$37 a pair.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you replaced all? So you have $200 to spend on underwear? I fucking don't. I can't bring myself to buy one pair, let alone replace my entire inventory.
Right.
Unless you're the
Exactly.
type of guy who's rocking 3 pairs of underwear, and by Wednesday you're flipping them bitches inside out to ride it out until laundry day. Who can afford to drop $200 to $300 on new draws?
Yeah. No shit.
I have a hard time pulling the trigger at Walmart to pay $30 for 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's like fuck, $30 for one pair of underwear.
Fucking
Yeah,
40.
we're not quite at the level where I can go out and drop $4,000 on an office chair and $30 on a pair of underwear.
Yeah.
But I was reluctant to ask my boss for a $30 keyboard. Not that he would care about. I'm like you. It's like no, just can't.
Well, like I said, I sat in the chair, comfy, first day in the chair. I don't think it's quite broken yet, but I mean, it was comfortable as shit. Fits underneath my desk, which is super key.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about a chair that actually fits under the desk. And I was talking to the young cat at my office the other day. I said, I've done a lot of computer setups in the last 18 years, and people buy these high-end, custom-made cherry wood computer desks, and none of them are engineered by people who use or install computers. Yeah. Nowadays, it's a little different with all the wireless shit, but back in the day, it's like, well, I got to go out and buy you 13 USB extension cables to make sure your keyboard can plug into your tower because they put all the holes in the worst places. Oh, I got to get you 2 video extension cables. It's like, you're selling a computer desk. Wouldn't you engineer it so people can actually install their computers with the default length of wire that the damn computers come with?
Yeah.
And by the way, can my computer chair fit under the fucking thing when I'm sitting in it? Is that too much to ask?
Not to complain, but my desk the wires are all over the place. I mean, IT does everything that they can to try and get, because we have our own ID department. And
Well, as an IT guy, here's the problem. You can go in there and drop a metric ton on zip ties and Velcro ties, and as soon as you do, 2 weeks later, Sheila doesn't like where her fucking keyboard's located, and now she's bitching that the wires are all tied up.
Yeah.
And then you got to find somebody with a pair of diagonal cutters, get in there and snip them off. Or so
Yep.
you were in here last week, but now I got to put in an. It happens all the time. You just
Yeah.
your hands up like.
Well, the like my boss's desk, he's got like the two little cutaways
Mm-hmm.
for wire, hiding wire and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But because I have in my home office, I have an L-shaped desk, and at work I have an L-shaped desk.
In a heart-shaped
My
box.
my work desk is a little bit bigger than my home desk, but I would have thought that they would have put in like one of those hideaway things in the corner, but instead it's way off in fucking
Yeah.
left field, and the only thing that goes through it is my office phone.
When I worked at the radio station in my producer's studio, the console chair couldn't fit underneath it. So
Yeah.
me and the waterman went out back, grabbed 4 cinder blocks, put 2 on each side, and raised the whole fucking console up the height of a cinder block.
Yeah,
So we got the Volkswagen back on Friday.
look at you go. How's that bill?
The bill was only my deductible, so I got off light.
Yeah.
Line items. Why did it take 54 days to repair the Volkswagen? Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. A total of 117 line items of what had to be fixed, replaced, and refinished, and all of it's from hurricane wind damage. I don't want to bore the audience here, but I will just go through some of the fun, finer points. Removed and replaced the front bumper cover, and refinished the front bumper cover. Both the front left side grills, the grill assembly, the front and left headlights, the hood, both fender guards and the inside, new windshield, new sunroof, new trim, all new paint. And so they did a good job. Windshield's OEM grade. It doesn't have the picture frame on it. 117 items. Fixed, painted, buffed, replaced. Majority of the car was repainted. There's like one spot on the back trunk lid where they forgot to buff it in. You can see a little bit of the oxidation from the old paint.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it looks like a brand new car.
Nice.
And I took to the place in Estero because when I was lining up my insurance, yes, you can take your car to any shop in the area, but if you want a quicker turnaround time, you don't want to have to wait for a shop to be approved by the insurance company. So I went down their list and I took 3 or 4 of them in the area, and I found the one with the best rating, and that best rating was in Estero, Florida, about 2 miles from the radio station. Not a big deal to me. I used to make that 33-mile drive every single day, both ways. Actually, 66 miles round trip.
Yeah.
But I would have to take an hour off of work to get up there on time. So we picked. Well, I called him. I called him on Friday. I said, hey, yeah. So you guys have had my car for 56 days. You said it was done on Monday. You said you're waiting on payment from Progressive. I called Progressive on Monday. They said they're going to send out somebody on Tuesday. Today's Friday. Monday's a holiday, and I lose my fucking rental car on Tuesday. Now, the problem with the fact that I lose my rental car on Tuesday is the fact that you have both my cars in your shop. So if I don't have a rental car, I'm fucked. And give them credit where credit is due, because my car had been sitting, not being touched, hypothetically going through quality control for a week. So they call me at 3 o'clock on Friday, say, hey, we got the clearance, we got, proof of payment from your insurance company, come get the car. We drive up there, get the car, look around it real quick. It's closing time. Everything looks good. We get in it. I'm driving the rental car home. Carrie's following me in her car, and I doze off at a stoplight and wake up. We get home, and she goes out and locks the car. We get in and go somewhere later. She unlocks the car. My horn's not working. What? Door's locking. Horn's not working. She's like, when you fell asleep at that light, I thought I honked a horn at you, but I didn't hear nothing. Well, that's fucking weird. So I went in there and walked back to the car, opened the door, and honked the horn. Beep, beep. Okay, it's working. That's weird. Locked the door. Real faint honk. Fucking weird. Anyhow, I went inside, did some shopping, came out, got in the car, honked the horn, honk. Okay, get out, hit the key fob, honk, honk. Send a text message. Something's wrong with my fucking horn. The horn started working. Nice and loud when you're running the car, hit the key fob, honk. So I'm Googling online how to hook up a car horn on a 2018 Volkswagen Jetta. Now, friends, if this was a 1991 Chevy S10 or a 1995 Ford Escort LX or a 1981 Suzuki Somersault or a 2005 Chevy Colorado or a 1991 Pontiac Firebird, all cars of which I've owned, by the way, you simply pop the hood, you find the horn, and you fucking just wiggle the wire and make sure it's seated. Well, friends, let me tell you about the Volkswagen. Volkswagen is probably one of the leaders in trying to beautify the engine compartment.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we beautify engine compartments? By tacking in as much plastic coverage as you can. So there is no popping the hood, reaching down in between the engine block and the fucking radiator, which is where a majority of most horns are, because there's a bunch of plastic covering that shit up. I put up one YouTube video, and on the GTI of that era, there's actually a wheel well access plate that you got to take off to access the horn. My car doesn't have that one. But so I called him. I said, I can't imagine anything you guys did, but I'm having this weird issue where my horn honks nice and loud, but with the key fob, I said, I don't know if it's my car starting. I don't think it's my battery's going bad. So anyhow, it's pouring down fucking rain. I go to Publix, and some asshole's sleeping through the light, and I hit the horn, and the fucking thing's not working. Get to Publix, shut the door, lock it. Door locks, no horn. Walk in, come back out, unlock it, lock it again, no horn. Get in, turn on the car, no horn. So as of right now, I have no fucking horn. And of course, to find people at this place is going to say, hey, drive your car all the way back to fucking Estero, even though we did a 117-point replacement, and I assume you had some sort of quality control. And oh, by the way, do you not lock the cars up at your lot? When you parked the car in the backyard and you went, didn't anybody notice that the fucking thing didn't honk, or it went honk, honk, real quiet? Could I be a dick?
Yes.
And say, hey, so my horn ain't fucking working? And they're going to say, well, bring it back. And I'm going to say, well, are you telling me to drive a non-roadworthy vehicle 33 miles? Because what's the first thing you do when you get a car inspection? What's the first thing they do when you pull in any Jiffy Lube? Test your headlights, test your turn signals, test your brake lights, test your horn. These are all things that you need to have a quote-unquote roadworthy vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So are you implying that I need to risk life and limb driving 33 miles? Oh, and by the way, it's not like I'm going to pull in the parking lot and you're going to have Skippy slide out on a fucking creeper, take 3.5 seconds. No, it's going to drop off my car and come back 6.5 hours later. Which means what? I got to take an entire day off of work because you guys failed to do your quality control and make sure my fucking horn was hooked up after you reassembled my car?
Yes.
Because I got to go get my truck hopefully this week. And once again, Carrie's got to take me, but it's not like while I'm checking out my truck, they're going to have Skippy slide underneath their Volkswagen with a creeper and hook the horn up real quick. You got to take the whole fucking front end apart again.
Yeah. That's a lot of...
But I would assume...
foreign cars for you.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with foreign. I'm sure they fucking didn't push up all the way on the clip when they reassembled it.
No. I'm talking about as far as like the design and you know, not being as simple as just fiddle fucking with the wire.
But I would assume, especially a place like this, it is a franchise, but it's a corporate franchise, that they have a checklist. Even when I was building ambulances and we had a quality control checklist, guess what we had to test? The fucking horn, both of them. The air horn and the honky horn. That is the official name, by the way. It's the honky horn. So, Jesus Christ. Well, why did you take your car to Estero? Because they had the best ratings. And if I'm going to take 2 cars to get replaced, I would prefer to do it with the place with the better rating than the place in Cape Coral that had 2 out of 5 stars. Thank you. But anyhow, that's where we're at on that.
Yeah. And I have a little story to kind of go with that.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016,
Way back.
way back, I moved back down to Florida from North Carolina.
Flow rider.
And was it, I think, a week or two?
Oh, you know what's not on? Sorry to cut you off, but you know what's not on the 117 checklist itemized of the things that they fucked with?
What?
My horn. I looked, but I'm sure they had the disconnector when they popped the fucking grill off to paint my car.
Yeah. A week. It was 2 weeks after I moved down here, and a week after I started my first career here. And
was working at a strip club really considered a career?
Hey, now. Got to make your money.
You weren't
somehow.
even the DJ. You were up on the pole.
I was on my way home. It was like typical 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on Bayshore.
Mm-hmm.
Getting ready to... I was coming up towards Slater.
Mm-hmm.
And the light turned.
Right
and
where the old fire department is.
Yeah. And I'm not... at the time, I wasn't super familiar with driving here. I mean, even though I'm born and raised here, and but in the 10-year span that I was gone, things have changed. So the light turned, and I went, oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
And it was raining. So I come to a skidding stop, a little bit out into the intersection, just a little bit.
Little Pete Rose slide.
And about two seconds goes by, and just boom. A fucking dump truck ass-packed my pickup truck.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah. Hit me. Truck was fine for the most part. I mean, aside from the crinkling damage and stuff like that. So we pulled over into the gas station right there, and we kind of did the back and forth and whatnot. He had insurance, which was lucky.
Little did he know you didn't.
Yeah. But the bad part about that is that we both had the same insurance carrier.
How's that a bad thing?
Because they took their sweet ass fucking time.
Fun fact, when Carrie got her first Volkswagen, we had it a month, and I was driving it because my truck was broken down. I was taking a laptop back to a customer, and luckily I had it sitting on the floorboard. Mm-hmm. Sitting at a light, there's a Lincoln Navigator behind me. Light's red. She's one of these people who don't watch the light, she watches the traffic.
Yeah. And
there's a little funny thing that happens with the left turn lane. It gets a green arrow before the other lanes.
Yeah.
And since she's not paying attention to anything fucking else, she drives right into the back of the trunk of the Volkswagen, crushing it on a brand new fucking car that's 28 and a half days old.
Mm-hmm.
She gets out. We both have Progressive. So it wasn't a big deal. She looks at me and says, "Do you have a cell phone on you?" I said, "Sure, why?" She's like, "I need to call my computer guy. He's on the way to my house to drop off my laptop. And I just picked up my car from the Mercury dealership having my car serviced." I said, "What is the name of your computer guy?" She said, "Don at Computers." I said, "Nice to fucking meet you. Your laptop's in my car." So she cuts me a check, to which I promptly walk over to show the Lee County Sheriff because I didn't want him to think we're performing insurance fraud on the side of a road at an accident scene.
Yeah.
He gets a giggle, he'll chuckle out there. Yeah, brand new car. Got the entire trunk crushed in by a Lincoln Navigator that was just picked up from the dealership. And we both had Progressive. And so it got done rather quickly. But, yeah.
See, in my experience, it took a lot longer. Because they didn't send out the insurance adjuster right away. And, it was like week after week. And it was, I was trying to just get my life back on track and get back to normal. And when they told me, okay, well, we're going to, have you send your truck in, pick a place.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. And, being, young and naive and not knowing, what I was doing. Because prior to that, I mean, every vehicle that I had was really old, and if it got a ding in it or somebody hit it or something, it wasn't a huge deal.
I'm turning 45 in 30 days.
Yeah.
I've had insurance consistently since I was 32, but
Mhm.
I've been paying for insurance off and on the 30-day scale.
Yeah.
Not to teach anybody how to drive illegally, but if you're between the ages of 18 and fucking 32 because, well, shit's expensive,
Yeah.
you want to find you one of those places with like an 800 number with a cartoon character or maybe a fake NASCAR driver, one of those type people.
Mm-hmm.
And what they'll do is you can buy a policy, and then when you're broke the following month, it'll take them 30 days to notify the state that your your insurance is lapsed, and then you can go renew it so you can skate without losing your license for about 28, 29 days. And they're the type of places that'll just renew your policy without a whole without any new down payments. And so I did that
Right.
for about off and on for like fucking 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's dangerous. Actually, you know what's funny thing? When you don't have insurance, you tend to be a more attentive driver. Not
Yeah.
only do you not want to get pulled over, but you don't want to wreck your car.
No shit.
But I say all that to say this, even though I've been paying insurance inconsistently since I was 16 and then consistently since I was 32, this is the first time I've ever filed an insurance claim. And I've been rear-ended. I've had things hit my car in the parking lot. But it was just like, I'm looking at my monthly payment. I'm like, I'm paying this much money in this fucking truck. And looking like this now. I got a funny thing is I actually had a decent sized dent behind the driver's side rear seat from where I had a server in my arm. It was starting to rain and I harpooned it. And I wanted to get that fixed, but I just couldn't quite justify the deductible. Well, after the hurricane came and shit on it, I could, okay, I'll get it all repaired. But yeah.
So they gave me the list of approved, and they gave me the other list of you can take it wherever the fuck you want, but we're only paying so much. It's like, okay.
Fun
So
fact, not to keep cutting you off, but roofing insurance, they cut you a check. They send you the full balance of the check, and then your job is just to go out and get a quote that's cheaper than the balance of the check plus your deductible, so you're not out of money in any pocket.
Right.
So if they give you 30 grand, your deductible's $1,000, so they give you 29 grand. You go out and get a roofing guy, gives you a quote for $2,750. After taxes, you're about $900 in the pocket. Like, sweet, it cost me fucking nothing.
You made
Car
money.
insurance is a lot fucking different because I guess so many people file claims. They send
Yeah.
somebody out. They'll say, okay, you got $7 grand worth of fucking damage. Your deductible's $600. We're going to send you, your deductible's $500. We're going to send you a check for $6,500. And so we're going to make sure you get that $500 deductible, and then any additional work we'll pay directly to the shop. So there's no way you're getting out of paying that deductible, unlike a homeowner's insurance.
Yep. So I picked a place off the approved vendors list, and they just so happened to have an adjuster and in a small office on site.
Chain smoking,
Yeah.
drinking black coffee,
So I was like, all right, cool.
unhappy with his
It
position
was-
in life.
Yeah. It was an old truck. It was a 2005 Silverado Z71,
Ooh.
and rusted all the shit. I mean, under the stuff that you couldn't see was the shit that was falling apart. So I took it in. They gave me my insurance at the time, gave me the whole, 30-day spiel for rental car and all that blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I
they'll
just
pay
went
up
through
to
that.
so
And I
much.
had my car for 52 days, so do the math.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So they did that, and they told me I could pick any vehicle I want up to so much per day. So I was like, all right, well, I want a fucking truck. That's what I drive every day. That's what I want to get back. So I got a truck for up to so much per day, and I didn't have to pay any extra for it, so it worked out.
And then you had to fight the urge to go buy a new fucking car.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was a brand new, in 2016, it was a brand new vehicle. And I was like, fuck. So I'm in that. Guy calls me and he's like, okay, we should have it fixed by Friday. Like 2 weeks had went by or something like that. I was all right, cool. Didn't hear from him. Went down there, turned in my vehicle, got dropped off at the place, which was like right down the street. Went in there, sat around for an hour, And then he goes, "Oh, you're not done yet." I was like, "What do you mean? You told me it would be done by Friday. It's fucking 6 o'clock on Friday."
Oh,
Oh
I meant
no,
Friday.
no, I didn't.
3 weeks from now.
Yeah. So I was like, I was, confused and didn't understand it and everything like that. So I was like, all right, well, so I got a ride back up there. I still had time left on my rental. Got another rental truck. It was a smaller Nissan Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up, another 2 weeks went by. He's like, all right, for sure, it's going to be done this Friday. I will call you. It's like, all right, cool. He called me. I went down there, turned in my rental vehicle, went over to the place, sit around for another fucking hour and a half. And then he comes out of the shop into the office and he's like, man, I'm so sorry. They're having a really hard time. They were going to try and use your original bolts, and your original bolts for your bumper were so rusty that they can't get them back in, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, you bought a new bumper, but you didn't buy new hardware to go with it?
Nah, Steve used that on his truck.
Yeah. So I was like, well, this is bullshit because, my rental is up. Mm-hmm. I don't have any more time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not fucking paying for this. You told me it was going to be done by today.
$64 a day down here in these parts.
Yeah. So he was like, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of everything. So sent me back up there, put it on their account. They got me another vehicle for another 2 fucking weeks. Finally called me and said, it's 100% done. I said, are you sure? He said, yes, you can come by today. All right. Went through the whole spiel again, went down there, looked at the truck, was fed up with them, didn't want to fucking deal with them anymore, so I drove away. Everything was fine. A couple of weeks go by and I start kind of noticing some things. I'm looking at the bed, and what had happened in the accident was on the bed, it had the dump truck had hit it, and the corner had raised up.
Mm-hmm.
Now my tailgate still worked, and my tail light wasn't busted. So I mean, technically everything was fine. It was just the bumper was smashed in, and the fucking bed had gotten, picked up on the one corner, and there was a little bit of a crinkle down the driver's side. I was like, all right. So I started noticing, and I was like, okay, well, orange peel for the paint for starters.
Lovely.
Secondly, you could still see the waves in the metal.
Nice. Good look.
Thirdly, the tailgate was askew.
Yep.
And lastly, the corner of the bed was still up just a little bit.
Awesome.
And I'm thinking, wow, this is somewhere that I really, really, really want to give props to.
Yeah.
Good quality body shop work right here. Yeah. And I probably should have taken it to Gerber or something. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hey, there you go.
Now, not to tell you how to write comedy, but next time...
You went all the way down... Wait a minute. You went all the way down to Estero for Gerber?
Yeah.
We're on fucking Metro, dude.
I went with the one that had the better rating. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to write comedy, but next time you tell that story, especially following up my story, cut 45 seconds out of it, say, I picked up my car, everything worked great, but the fucking horn. That's called a callback. Everybody had a good time and laughed. But no, I was going to ask you, well, did the horn at least work? But yeah, Gerber's the one that can't hook up a fucking horn. But yeah.
You're bitching about a horn not working, and my entire bed was still fucked up when I was done.
Whatever happened to taking pride in your sport and or hobby that had a hint of danger to it?
Are we talking like give me an example?
Is that
hockey
maybe that's what
like
separate hockey, baseball, football, surfing, skateboarding, any sport has an inherent danger. If you're a girl who plays how many girls in high school did you see who played volleyball wearing a fucking leg brace because they blew out their goddamn knee on the gym floor?
Sure.
The inherent danger of participating in your sport.
Sure.
That's something you take pride in.
Yeah.
Skateboarding, you got fucking road rash all over you. You fucking went to school with your road rash. You didn't cover it with Band-Aids and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey, you got a tooth knocked out. You fucking kept the tooth out. Football, you saw some stars. You fucking walked it off.
Battle scars.
Maybe that's why our generation was the father. Are you technically a Gen Xer or are you a millennial? Yeah. See, my generation, we're the father of extreme sports. We basically invented base jumping, bungee jumping, snowboarding.
The fucking X Games.
The X Games. We brought skateboarding to what it is today. We didn't invent it. That was invented by my father's fucking generation, but we brought it to what it is today.
Yeah.
6 years ago, I get it, because it's a female softball thing, and I get it. You're in high school. You want to have your pretty face and pretty grill, but I was talking to one of the girls who worked at the radio station, and she taught high school softball, and even she was disgusted by the fact that they all want to wear the face mask out in the field so they don't get their dinger and knock their pretty girls in. I get it. You're a chick. You don't want to get hit in the face. Wear your fucking catcher's mask in fucking center field.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something today that just disgusts me, and I didn't know it was a thing.
Uh-oh.
It was a podcast featuring two high school boys baseball varsity coaches. And they're complaining about something where their players, all of them, because it's drip, drip, to wear sliding gloves in their pocket while playing the field. You're probably asking the same thing I asked. What the fuck's a sliding glove? They want to do this because the major leaguers are doing this. We went from Babe Ruth smoking, chewing dip, eating fucking raw red meat, and waddling out to the goddamn home plate and calling his shot and fucking hitting home runs. We went to Tommy Lasorda fighting fucking umpires and being fat and sloppy. We had Pete Rose doing head-first slides in every fucking base. Every kid would recreate that in every gravel sandlot around the country and get all kinds of stones embedded in their hands.
Fucking Nolan Ryan, the strikeout king, went until he was, 46?
Mm-hmm. You got hockey players playing with broken femurs. Major League Baseball players, because they don't want to hurt their piggies, are wearing now something called a sliding glove, so that when you slide to steal a base, you put a little oven mitt on your leading hand so that you don't accidentally stub your finger on the basey base.
Get the fuck out of here.
In that case, I get it. You're making millions of dollars a year, especially if you're like a pitcher. Maybe you might be able to not swing the bat if you have a broken piggy. Even though the guys who've been playing for the last 100 years, they were able to fucking do it just fine. You know, first it started with the fucking pad for their arms so they don't get hit with a wild ball. You know, don't get hit with a fastball in their bicep. Now they're wearing fucking streamlined oven mitts when sliding into bases so they don't stub a finger. And of course, all the high school kids see this, and the middle school kids and little league kids. And so they're not just wearing a sliding glove when they get on base, when they're a base runner. They don't hit the ball, get the first, put the sliding glove on like Willie Mays Hayes. What was it? He hits like Mays and runs like shit. Oh no, he hits like Mays, but yeah, whatever the line was. They wear it in their pocket, hanging out like a flag while playing the field when they're not up to bat, because it's stylish.
It's cool.
It's stylish to be a fucking pussy. When we grew up, the only time we wore helmets and knee pads when we were at skate parks that fucking required them. And you got an entire generation of people who know how to fall. We've talked about on this podcast before, me and Gordon and Dave. If you skateboard, snowboard, bike, doing anything that's extreme, you learn how to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to fuck yourself up.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're riding a half pipe, you're riding a bolt, put on a fucking helmet. You're doing kick flips out in the street, take the fucking helmet off, learn how to fall.
Well, and, one good fall,
that's all it takes.
especially like skateboarding or something like that, that'll learn you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You learn real quick, okay, maybe I shouldn't put my hand out like that.
The last time I
'Cause then it will
counted, I was
snap
like,
in about 9 different places.
last time I counted when I was a freshman in high school, I lost count around 73 scars that I had acquired from skateboarding since I was in 3rd grade. But yeah, I saw that and I'm like, wow, sliding gloves. That's fun.
I mean, next you're going to tell me that we're going to get rid of metal cleats again.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to wearing fucking Chuck Taylors.
Did I give you the update on the walleye fishing guys?
I think you did
Okay.
2 weeks ago. I think you
Let's
said you
go.
were actually going to give him a kayak.
No, not that. Not those guys. Talk about the walleye fishing guys. The guys who got arrested for putting. Yeah.
The weight gate.
Yeah. Anyhow, they got like, I think 30 days in jail, and the one guy lost his $100,000 fishing boat. But yeah.
What you get?
Remember, we'll do this one first. News you really need to pay attention to. If I would say the BRIC countries, would you know what I'm talking about?
The BRIC countries.
BRICS, BRICS.
BRICS, BRICS countries. I'm not familiar.
If I asked you what the global reserve currency is, what would you say?
Gold?
No. The American dollar. Back in the day, we made a deal with the OPEC nations that oil and fuel would only be sold in the American dollar. And basically every financial institution around the world, bank-wise, their reserve currency, meaning doesn't matter if you're in Sweden, England, fucking Russia, all the national banks, their money is backed up and stabilized using the American dollar, which is why we often have a better rate than most countries. That's why the dollar is worth more than just about any currency in the world. Well, as you may or may not know, if you don't watch the news, which I get the desire not to watch news because it's all fucking shit, but this is news you need to be aware of. And this has been going on for 4 or 5 months. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and now along with 34 other nations, are trying to establish a separate currency that would significantly disrupt the stability of the global financial system. The dominance of the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency has preserved the level of stability and predictability in international trade and finance. Introducing a new currency would create an uncertainty and a potential to lead to the currency war, as countries try to delve their currencies to gain a competitive advantage. And so basically what Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa are doing is saying, hey, we're going to start our own kind of financial institution. And our countries, along with 34 others that are signing up, we're no longer going to trade in American dollar. We're going to trade in probably most likely going to be the Chinese currency, the yen. Now, we already know China's trying to take over the world. We already know China's coming in here buying up all our land. We know China's doing all kinds. They have the 1,000-year plan to take over the world. And so right now, they've been pushing us hard. And you say, well, what's the horrible things that could possibly happen if this happens? Fragmentation of the global trade. The introduction of BRICS currency could lead to the fragmentation of global trade. Currently, U.S. dollar serves as the common currency for international transactions, facilitating trade between countries with different currencies. If BRICS were to establish their own currency, it would create a barrier between BRICS countries and the rest of the world, making trade more complicated and potentially leading to the decline in global trade values. The lack of trust and credibility. Establishing a new currency requires a high level of trust and credibility in the issuing of authority. While BRICS countries collectively represent a significant portion of the global economy, they have diverse economic and political systems. This diversity could undermine confidence and stability in the governance of BRICS currency, leading to a lack of trust among international investors, businesses, and consumers. But the bigger important to us is if this thing actually takes off and more countries jump into it, especially those OPEC nations, the one in the Middle East who control a lot of the oil. And if if the OPEC nations decide for the first time in like 63 years to start selling oil in other currency other than American, you think inflation's bad now? We could see hyperinflation and the value of the dollar can fall through the fucking floor. And all this is going on while we have a feeble-minded fucking grandpa in office. And an administration who are too concerned about fucking whether or not transgender should be able to play women's fucking hockey or not.
Right.
And I mean, it makes sense that Russia, China, and I think Venezuela is also getting involved in this shit. Because obviously we kind of have a thing going on in China right now. And so if they can get their own currency off the ground, us potentially freezing assets and doing this and that won't have as major of an effect on them. Russia, obviously, we've already freezing their assets and cutting their currency off of the hip. This could lead to a very, very bad day for us in America, especially us trying to pay mortgages and rent and all that shit. So that's something you need to be aware of.
Outstanding.
Let's, how about a little news of hypocrisy? eBay founder gives nearly $2 million to defund the police. Okay, it was all the rage. I mean, we saw what Target's doing now and Bud Light. You know, there's things in the air. You want to be part of the in crowd. You got to tweet some tweets, and you want to be part of the rising tide, right? The whole thing a few years ago was defund the police, yada, 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 yada. But why would the founder of eBay give nearly $2 million, which is a drop in the bucket, but it's still a $2 million donation? What would be in it for him? Why would he want the defunding of the police? Well, the other half of the headline is
package searching.
the other half of the headline is while funding a private security startup. Follow the money trail. The billionaire founder of the e-commerce site eBay plowed money into a private security startup built as the, quote, Uber for bodyguards, while also donating nearly $2 million to a group that advocates defunding and abolishing the police, according to reports. Pierre Odenmeyer, whose wealth is valued by Bloomberg Billionaires Index as $8.91 billion as of Friday, reportedly forked over $500,000 to organizations that protest police involving killing George Floyd in 2020. Two other organizations tied to the Odenmeyer Newark Police Link and Democracy Fund received $1.3 million to sponsor websites called defundpolice.org, a tool used by advocates to call for the cuts in police budgets, according to independent journalist. Then he donated $300,000 to a movement for Black Lives, to an organization that describes itself as abolitionist coalition reporting FANG, who prior to becoming an independent journalist worked for years and reported for The Intercept, a news site founded by Odenmeyer. When we say defund and abolish the police, we mean that exactly, the movement of Black Lives wrote in their recent statement. So this guy's basically saying, hey, if we minimize the police forces, they can hire my crew, and I can make a shit ton more money.
Capitalism.
Crony capitalism, let's be fair. There's a difference. I'm a capitalist through and through. But I believe in making appropriate profits on work and our goods and services rendered, not doing something like where I buy stock in Meta and then use my power as a politician to try to outlaw TikTok, which is eating Meta's lunch, thus driving the stock value down. How is that even fucking legal? And it's both sides. It's both sides of the party doing it. And even Dan Carlson is stocking Meta. I don't get what's going on in the world, Mike.
Me either.
Did you hear about the white supremacist who crashed a U-Haul truck into the White House?
I did. Had a Nazi flag on him.
Yep. What do you think would happen?
He tried to crash into the White House. He hit the fence.
And what do you think would happen if... Well, and he wasn't white, by the way.
Right.
What do you think would happen if that guy had a Nazi flag and a Trump flag and was white?
A lot of Trump supporters would then be labeled as white
But he would
supremacists.
clearly go to prison, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we got nutballs who walked around the Capitol building taking photos, getting 6 to 10 years in prison for January 6th.
Yeah.
And so I would suspect that this fellow would get arrested too, as he should. Wrecking the fucking White House. The alleged neo-Nazi accused of ramming the rented U-Haul truck into the White House security barriers will be held in federal jail pending detention hearing next week, according to the reports. Sahib Vanish Kundala, I think he's Middle Eastern, 19, appeared in the Washington, D.C. federal court Wednesday, where Magistrate Judge Robin M. Merriweather ordered he be jailed until the hearing next Tuesday, CBS reports. Kandalua from Missouri slammed a box truck into the barriers along Lafayette Square, just steps from the White House late Monday, U.S. Park police officer said. He had allegedly planned the attack for 6 months. Not a very good plan. With his goal to, quote, according to him, because this is how democracy works, to get to the White House, seize power, and to be put in charge of the nation. Because this is a Hollywood movie or a monarchy, right? You just kill the king, and all of a sudden you're in charge now, right?
Yep. That's how it works.
Kandaloo was accused of threatening to, quote, kill the president if that was what he had to do. And he praised Nazism and Hitler. He was originally charged with threatening to kill, kidnap, and inflict harm on the president, vice president, and or family members, as well as assault with a dangerous weapon, reckless operation of a motor vehicle, trespassing, and destruction of federal property, U.S. Park Police said. Fair enough. Story over. Story was over. We wouldn't be talking about it.
Right.
Clearly the guy's a fucking nut.
Right.
We have a long line of people getting off of some pretty serious charges for being a verified nut.
Yes.
You think you can walk into the White House, kill the president, and all of a sudden we're going to bow down and say, here you go, sir. What do you want to do? You're clearly a fucking nut.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, charges should still hold. He wrecked a car. I mean, if we're going to put old white people in jail for taking selfies in front of a fucking Nancy Pelosi's door, this guy we should definitely throw the book at, rightfully so. His federal charges have since been downgraded to a single count of depreciation of property of the United States depreciation of property of the United States in excess of $1,000. He was originally charged with threatening to kill, kidnap, or inflict harm on the president, the vice president, or family members, as well as assault with a dangerous weapon, reckless operation of motor vehicles, trespassing, and destruction of federal property. But now it's all been downgraded to a single charge of depreciation of property in the United States of excess of $1,000.
I'd like to know who his lawyer is.
Kandula, a self-described unemployed data analyst, was taken into custody after ramming the barriers with his vehicle just before 10 p.m. on Monday. And as Mike said, he did have a swastika in his truck. He struck the barriers once before. He struck the barrier once before reversing the box truck and launching towards them again, ramming the structure for a second time, according to the statement and facts released on Tuesday.
Certainly.
He then allegedly hopped over the driver's seat and went to the back of the smoking truck. Quote, the officer watched as Kandula removed a red and white flag with a Nazi swastika in the center from the back his black backpack and was carrying it, document states. No one was injured in the crash. No explosives were found inside the vehicle. Kandula later told federal agents he took a one-way flight from St. Louis to Washington, D.C. and arrived around 8 p.m., court papers stated. He then allegedly rented a U-Haul box truck and then drove it directly to the White House. He allegedly said his goal was to, quote, get to the White House, seize power, and be put in charge of the nation. When asked how, he responded he would, quote, kill the president if that's what I have to do, and would hurt anyone that would stand in my way, according to court documents.
Mm-hmm.
Despite being stopped by a security barrier, Kandula told investigators he was successful because he had hoped to send a message, the court document states. So you can plan this for 6 months.
What a wild fucking ride that is.
Save money, buy a one-way ticket, spend $20 on a U-Haul. His swastika flag probably cost more than that.
Yep.
Ram his vehicle into the White House, create chaos, exclaim his objective was to kill the president and anyone who stood in his way and seize power to control the nation. And his charges were downgraded to destruction of property over $1,000.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds on the up and up. If he only had a Trump flag in his thing, he'd gotten the deserved 10, 15 years in jail as he should have got for, yes, I know it's a bit of a reach to say a attempted coup, but in his crazy mind, that's what he was trying to do. I mean, so what are we saying? As long as you're a fucking nut, you can just ram shit into the White House and you're good to go?
I guess so.
Problem solved.
Yeah. Wow. You can get a Hindu swastika garden flag for $12 on Amazon.
Well, see, that's the problem with crazy people. The swastika has been around a lot longer than Hitler.
It is. Has, yes.
It was a Buddhist symbol of prosperity. The Native Americans used it. And fun fact, I want to say the 3rd, maybe the 4th Infantry Division of the United States Army used it in World War I. And it wasn't until Hitler and the Nazis came out that they said, yeah, we're going to change our division logo. And so, rightfully so, we can't go around flying swastikas. Well, the same thing kind of happened with the Gadsden flag, right? The Don't Tread on Me flag. Thing's been around for 200 years. It was created by Benjamin Franklin. Actually did join or die, but the Don't Tread on Me flag came around the same time. And it was a representation of the colonists, the dirty rebels, who were telling King George III and Britain not to tread on us. And it was used to boost morale and used as a patriotic symbol through the Revolutionary War. Obama got in office in the early 2000s. A bunch of people who didn't like him started the Tea Party movement. They hijacked the name Tea Party, and they all started flying Gadsden flags. Don't tread on me. And it got to the point, by the end of time Obama was out of office, there's people getting sent home from work for being racist for having Gadsden flags because the flag was co-opted by a group of people who some may like or some may not. But my point being is now you got to be careful where you fly that flag because the meaning of it has been hijacked.
Yep.
And living here in Florida, we see this all the time. And I actually had a discussion with somebody who was born in Florida. The Confederate battle flag. Otherwise known as the rebel flag. Otherwise known as Confederate flag. And down here, you'll see Southerners with the sticker with the Confederate flag that says heritage, not hate. And as a historian, I get it. It was a Confederate battle flag. It was not a Confederate flag. It does not represent racism or slavery or anything else. However, that flag was co-opted by a bunch of racist fucks called the Ku Klux Klan. And it was used when confronting Martin Luther King and other prominent people who were trying to fight for people's civil rights, rightfully so. And as somebody who grew up in Kentucky and Ohio, I told this person this. Anyone who openly flew that flag would most likely drop the N-bomb when watching The Cosby Show or The Cops. So yes, that flag is represented by the world's worst fucking people. So even though it may have stood for something a long time ago, it no longer does. So let it fucking go. Because the world's worst people are in love with that fucking flag. Maybe you guys need to take it back. Maybe you guys need to rise up. Maybe all the smart, non-racist Southerners need to rise up and have like a public battle against all the fucking ignorant fucking racist people to take your flag back. Maybe that's what's going to need to happen. But yes, shit gets co-opted by evil assholes, and you just have to let it go.
Fun fact:
Mm-hmm.
the swastika, as prior to Hitler and his cohorts, was the let's see, before the 1930s, the division's symbol was a red square with a yellow swastika, a tribute to the large Native American population in the southwestern United States.
What division was that?
That was the 45th Infantry Division of the United States Army.
Yeah, World War I.
Active between 1923 and 1945, and then again between 1946 and 1968.
Well, people don't realize who don't research World War II. Hitler did not have a creative original bone in his fucked up body. There's an interesting book called Hitler, The Pathology of Evil. And if you read this book, you like, okay, first and foremost, Hitler clearly hated himself. Rightfully so, because he's a fucking shitbag. But like the first laws he invoked when he took power, first and foremost, rule number 1, Hitler was convinced that his mother was not his mom. He was convinced that his Jewish housemaid was his mother that his father had an affair with, even though it wasn't true. His mom had Munchausen by proxy, but not in a way where she abused him, but in a way that like he can never do anything wrong, and like not really Munchausen, but like way it was explained in her mind, he can never do anything wrong, and his dad's eyes, he can never do anything right. Yeah. So like the first law he passed is Jewish girls between the ages of 12 and 35 cannot work in a Gentile's house, i.e. the breeding years. And like the 4 of the laws he passed, like if those laws were in place before he was born, he would have never been born. It was like he was creating laws that would have prevented him from ever being born. The guy was a fucking psychopath. But he was not creative in the least. The whole Hitler salute, Sieg Heil, I'm not going to do it because I don't want people getting pictures of me. But where you put your hand up, do the whole thing, he stole that from Mussolini, the dictator of Italy. So he stole that. There's a famous watercolor that he was in love with. It was a guy on a horse. It was like the Dark Knight or something. And the guy had the little Charlie Chaplin little duster, so he adopted that and the comb-over haircut. And and then he obviously stole the swastika from the Buddhist. And like, so his whole personality, like everything was just hodgepodge, stole from whatever he could.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy was a narcissist, which is ironic because he hated himself. He's just a complete fucking loser. But yeah, so that's shit gets co-opted. It's and we're dealing with that now, right? You saw the reports where like 3 years ago the FBI put out the symbol of new extremism in the United States. The Betsy Ross flag, the join or die symbol, basically all the patriotic symbols from the Revolutionary War that we used to fight against King George III and the government are now being held. Oh, if you have a Betsy Ross flag, or Don't Tread on Me flag, or Join or Die, you're clearly a terrorist organizer. And it's like, okay, here we go.
Whatever you say.
So basically what you're saying is any icon that was a symbol of patriotism 30 years ago, basically the patriots are now the dirty rebels. Ladies, we need to have a discussion.
Uh-oh.
Look, he may be good in the sack. He may be magical with the tongue. He may be well endowed. But is it worth it? You all need to stop hanging around with these fucking psycho dudes. We had that piece of shit Brian Laundrie down in Naples who killed fucking old girl and ditched her body. Tennessee woman who disappeared during cross-country trip was found safe. Boyfriend reportedly arrested. Los Angeles, California, a woman who went missing while cross-country road trip to Orange County, California with her boyfriend has been found safe, police said Tuesday evening. Reading police said that Nikki Alcarez, 33, was contacted by the Eureka Police Department and, quote, found to be safe. Reading police then contacted the Monterey, New Mexico Police Department to confirm that she is no longer considered a missing person. No future details have released. The Alcarez family had said They believed her to be in danger. She was believed to have been spotted at a Walmart over the weekend. Her boyfriend, Taylor Dickshit, was reportedly arrested, according to local police, through details on that aren't, reports, though details on the arrest weren't immediately available. Alcaraz left her home in Tennessee for a road trip in her black Jeep with her Cheese Dick and her dog. They planned to travel to Orange County to visit her family, but 3 weeks ago, the 33-year-old mother disappeared in Monterey, New Mexico. Quote, there's a lot of possibilities that I'm scared of after not hearing from her for 3 weeks now, said the sister. There were signs of trouble when the couple reached New Mexico. On May 4th, a Torrance County Sheriff Department report showed Alcaraz with a black eye. A witness said that Cheese Dick punched her in the face. The report said Stranton claimed, the report says that he claims he was also hit. Sounds very familiar, right? Remember the whole Brian Laundrie thing where the cop pulled her over and she had a black eye and he called her, she hit me too. Neither one chose to press charges. They left in the police station separately. Alcaraz was dropped off by the police in a mortuary where she called her sister. Quote, her eye was already turning, because obviously it's FaceTime. Her eye was already turning black and you could tell that she was beat up pretty badly, her sister said. A family friend drove to New Mexico and met up with her, hoping to bring her back to California. But on the day they were supposed to leave, she told him she had to go back to find her boyfriend. Now, it's not like she's stranded, like she has to go back. Somebody's on their way to pick her up. Your old man fucking punched you in the face and gave you a black eye. On May 9th, Tony received a text from her sister saying she was in Arizona and planned to continue driving to California. A license plate reader picked up her Jeep near Flagstaff, Arizona earlier in the month, but police said her phone appeared to be out of service. Cheese Dick Fuck, her boyfriend, has an unrelated arrest warrant out of Tennessee tied to theft charges. He has not been seen since their interaction with the Arizona police. So she went missing for 3 weeks after a FaceTime with her sister with a black eye. Clearly the boyfriend, luckily in this case, she ended up being safe. But this, like, with the exception of her being alive, this is almost line by line the Brian Laundrie fucking homegirl story.
Yeah.
And I don't get these chicks who stick around with their dudes who not only beat the shit up. How many times have you seen the scabby fucking meth girl walking down the street, a homeless girl, and she always has some scabby methed out dude? And you're looking at him like, I guarantee 87% chance he's the reason she's homeless. Because she couldn't fucking let him go. I don't get it. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I know there's a lot of shitty women out there who treat their dudes like shit, but come on, ladies. You have the most powerful substance known to man in your control. That is the vagina. There is no reason to stick around with some dude who's going to beat you up, do horrible shit to you, lead you down the bad path where you're going to end up fucking homeless or drugged out. Take the power back, ladies. Fucking leave these guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason. And this chick's lucky. She didn't meet the worst case scenario. But
yeah,
there's a fantastic song I would love to play, but I'd get hit with a copyright infringement. It's by a group called Atmosphere out of Minneapolis.
Yep.
And this song should be the national anthem for Domestic Violence Awareness Day. And the name of the song is The Last to Say. And it's basically, or he's talking, I'll make it the lyrics. I can't play the song, but I can. Atmosphere, last to say. I won't rap it, I'll just read the lyrics. And I don't even think it's, I don't know if it's the Domestic Violence Awareness Day, but it should be. And it's like, as somebody who was like, grew up in this situation, not with my dad, but one of my mom's boyfriends back in the day, that shit hits home.
Mm-hmm.
As far back as he cares to remember, he used to see his old man lose his temper, and Mama's pretty face would catch it all. On a regular basis, the nest would fall. But he was always safe from his dad's rage because Mama sacrificed in his place. 24 years of the blood, sweat, and tears avoided the mirror, losing her hair from the fear. She never left him. She stayed inside. He beat her ass up until the day that he died. In fact, the biggest beating was the day that he died, because now it was too late for her to make a new life. She gets to mourn for the touch of a punch. Won't ever admit it that she ain't clutching it much. Someday she'll die, and it's still worth to be done, because now the anger lives on through their son. Because he caught it all. A childhood of watching Ma and Pa get raw. It's too bad for him. Nah, that's half the truth. Because you back with him now, and he's smacking you. What happened to you? You don't have a clue? Did your mom used to suffer accidents too? I never knew that you would stand for abuse. I guess I used to assume that you would pack it up and move. I think about it when he left him the last time, said out loud that it would never forget the past crimes. Sunglasses so dark, scarf around your neck to cover the choke marks. And since you've got to justify returning, you convince yourself that he's just a hurt person. You want to blame that cross that he bears, but his pop's not there when he tosses you down the stairs. And here's the chorus. And this is like fucking the most heartfelt thing. Like, if you know a woman or a girl, even a dude getting beat up by his dude, anybody taking an ass whooping from their counterpart, let me be the last to say, please don't stay. Let me be the last to say, you won't be okay. It's like fucking boom, it hits it right there. I mean, that the video's amazing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, let someone in your life be the last one to say, time to move on. And take them up on that shit. And just, that's scary. You may have your entire financial, and you may have burnt bridges with your family, but chances are if you go back to your family and say, hey, I'm leaving, dickhead, chances are they'll rebuild those bridges pretty quick.
Yeah.
And give you a place to go, so you're not in that sticky situation anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, it's crazy that people are willing to put themselves in that situation, especially when they have kids.
Yep.
But anyhow, boy, I brought the show down. But you know, that's what we do here on the What's in Your Head podcast. We talk about what's in our head. And I was reading that story right before the show. I'm reading, like, God, this is just like the Brian Laundrie story.
Mm-hmm.
Except for, luckily, that dickhead killed himself and got chopped up by alligators.
For show.
Found a cool saltwater place to go fishing.
Salt water?
Mm-hmm. Brackish
Okay.
water-ish. Did I send you the video of the kayakers off of Cape Burnstore Road that were fishing out in the mangroves, and the little water spout came and picked their kayaks up and threw them like 20 yards away?
You might have. I don't remember that one.
So anyhow, I was like, well, where are these guys fishing at? And there's a place in Cape Coral. There's actually has one of those kayak launches where you put your shit on the ramp.
Yep.
And it's a main thoroughfare for boats, but right across is a bunch of mangroves. And we went back in there fishing. Obviously, I don't know the first thing about saltwater fishing. So I will say I caught a sail catfish on a crankbait. Don't ask me how. I threw the crankbait and I put my pole down. I was doing something and my pole was like, I was like, ooh, I got me a snook. And it was a fucking little sailfish. But yeah, I think we're going to change our monthly mystery tackle box to a saltwater box for a while. To get some saltwater bait so we can go try to expand our fishing horizons.
Hell yeah.
I will say it's kind of nice to be out on the water for 6 hours not having to worry about alligators. But, yeah, saltwater fishing I need to get into.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I've been trying to get the boat ready to go and up and running and shit, but the thing that holds me back with that is just the waterway. You know, I don't want to be going, 30, 40 miles an hour and then all of a sudden there's a broken piling inside my hull. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or a house or a car.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good point, because I was talking to my boss. He's like, we took the boat out on Memorial Day weekend and the fucking waterways are dead. He's like, no one was out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's weird because we went to the mall, no one was there either. I was like, I don't know if everybody's staying home barbecuing or what, but maybe that's why. Maybe people were worried about damage to their boat.
I know that's one of my number one reasons. I mean, I just assume pack up and go up to Peace River or Charlotte Harbor or go down south to 10,000 Islands or something.
In the snook
fish
world,
Marco.
a 4-foot long snook is actually rather a small fish because they're just long, right? I mean, it's still a decent fish, but it's not uncommon to catch one that long.
Technically, if you're hooking a 48-inch snook, that's pretty big.
Well, even a 2.5 foot, those things will have enough power to send you on one hell of a sleigh ride in a kayak. Is what I'm getting to, and I don't have a pedal kayak.
Fucking right.
Yeah, fucking right.
Even like 18, 19-inch snook. I mean that'll pull you around. They got they're strong little bastards.
Yep. Does your kayak accommodate aftermarket rudder systems?
Yes.
Buy one.
I did see your video.
Despite my anger, frustration, hatred, and pain, I did get another email. I got to flip the spring around because it was assembled backwards. That's the problem, which I already took the spring out once because when adjusting it, it popped out of spot. Yep. But all that aside, and the fact that I got to adjust the lines again, it's game changer as far as tracking. Just the fact that, just sitting in the water when it's windy, your boat maintains its course. I'm not having to put down my pole and adjust my boat nearly as much as I did before, which is why I bought the thing. Being able to turn quicker is a benefit, but when I watched the video and they explained it, yes, it does help you maneuver, but the intention of the rudder is to help you track in windy, wavy. I was like, done. And now when I'm standing up and casting and I'm blowing like a sail, I can just lean down and hit the pedal. And so now I can kind of steer my boat. So now when I'm sight fishing, I have more control over my boat.
Right.
And so, and by the way, I don't have a truck right now, so my kayak fishing days are done until I get the Tundra back. So I have plenty of time to go in there and flip the spring around. And but yeah, we're probably gonna do some shoreline fishing until I'm hoping to get the Tundra back this week. The Volkswagen, they said, took so long because the windshield was on back order. And my truck got out of paint on Friday, so it's already been painted.
Yeah.
They're supposed to come. My windshield's got to get replaced, and I think my driver's side, 2 of my windows have to be replaced and retinted, and then I should be good to go. So I'm hoping and praying to get my truck back, but probably won't be this week because it's already fucking Wednesday, which is crazy to me. But
yeah,
crossing fingers, because that's you're talking about you got a truck when you had a rental car. That's exactly why I got my rental trucks. I didn't tell them. They made the mistake of telling me that they don't track scratches to the bed. Okay, then I ain't gonna worry about putting my yoga mat down when I load up my kayaks. Because apparently people rent trucks to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so got some videos to edit. I'm working on one now, because I've lost a lot of nice fish lately, most of my jumping, and so I'm wrapping that video footage. Caught a bottlenose turtle on a whopper plopper. Beat that.
Nice.
Yep. So I got that in the video, and I'm gonna start working on Carrie's video for her Hobie, and I'm gonna get me. I think I'm gonna get me one of those camera mounts you have, so I can put a camera behind me.
Yeah.
I might lose the head camera for a while until I get my third camera repaired. But just to change up the camera angle a little bit. I've seen some other people doing that where they don't have the body camera on, and it works just as good because they got the front facing and the one behind them kind of shooting over the shoulder so you can see their full body in front of them. So I might.
I think we're gonna go with like a branded one.
It's like $70 on Amazon.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the one that I got, it was a gift, but it's stationary. So I mean, you can fold it and kind of maneuver it however you want to, but it doesn't extend.
Yeah, no, the $70 one I'm looking at is Yak Attack, and it's the ball jointed one, so you can adjust it out, but it's 2 pieces, and so you can kind of adjust it out and adjust it this way. So it's actually made of, it breaks. It's about 4 feet tall. and so
Yeah.
you can kind of really stick it out. My only concern is I might put it on the left side of my boat because I cast over my right shoulder, and I don't want to whack it.
Yeah.
And I did get a new mount for my front one. The old front one I used to just stick on with the sticky tape, and it kept popping off.
Yep.
So I got the Yak Attack 6-inch mount, and so it's now 6 inches up, so it'll get a better camera angle on the front as well.
Nice.
But anyhow, that's what we're working on.
Hell yeah.
Real quick, we haven't given away the second bag of coffee yet, or the coffee mug for the Patreon members. So if you haven't done so, head over to d-410.com or what'sinyourhead.com. Click on Patreon. It's $1 a month. We're going to give that bag of coffee along with the What's the Scuttlebutt coffee mug on What's the Scuttlebutt next week. And then we're going to do another giveaway on Patreon as a thanks for you guys supporting the show. So if you want to support the show, head over to d-410.com or what'sinyourhead.com. Click on the Patreon link, subscribe. There's 3 plans, but you only have to subscribe to the $1 a month to be eligible. And we're doing some giveaways there. And if you haven't done so, please head to youtube.com, like, subscribe, watch our videos. That doesn't cost you $1, and we are monetized. And so the half a fraction of a penny that you generate by watching the video adds up. And that goes a long way to support the show. So for myself, Mike, and Gordon should be back next week. We want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with us, and we will talk to you soon.
This has been a Digital 410 production.